And so what they did is they went to Bixpix and they did this write-up. And they also have a video as well. Now I can't play the whole video, but it goes behind the scenes at the studio. And what they did is they talked about Mr. Rogers and his impact on the world, basically what he did, what he was like. And so they had this little stop motion sequence that they did, and they went behind the scenes, and showed what they created, and a lot of what they had done in the studio is they collected all these different artifacts from the TV show from Mister Rogers' Neighborhood, and it's actually pretty cool. Like I said, I can't play it all on here because I'll get a copyright strike on my YouTube channel, but I will be writing up a small article about this on the site so you guys can find it. But they've got some storyboard concepts. They've got the character designs themselves, and they show the sculptures here, so you can see the head of Mister Rogers. And it's great. I mean, it's all back to basic stop motion. We've got some Chavant clay here, most likely, and some perhaps Delrin eyeballs, and we've got some brass tubing to keep the head on a little stand for sculpting purposes. Then you can see his body, as well as the different hand puppets that they used for the TV show were turned into miniature stop motion puppets. Also, you can see like the hair designs, and somebody had taken, I guess, yarn, and very skillfully created these little like wigs essentially for the puppets. So I think I'm not really sure the process of how they do this, but it looks kind of similar to like how they would do a wig in real life. Like there's some sort of a net of sorts that attaches to the puppet's head, and then the yarn perhaps is glued on in place. Kind of interesting, and a lot of really great talented people. You can see here they've got their flying rigs. I'm not really sure what Mr. Rogers and all these kids are doing, but they sort of float off. And I mean, it looks really awesome. I mean, Bixpix does some amazing work. They're in California, and so let me see here. The director was Drew Hodges, and executive producers were Kelly Bixler and also Drew Hodges as well. But there's a lot of people that were working on it. So we've got lots of puppet fabricators and painters, sculptor, costumes. We got the animators. So there's only 2 animators, amazingly. And then there's the editor, post-production as well. So I'm not really sure. I want to try to find out more about this before I do the article. I'll do some more research. But if you guys are interested in Bixpix, you can go to bixpix.com, and they've got all their previous works on here as well. And they've won tons of awards. A really prominent stop motion studio, and not really a lot of people talk about them. I mean, Leica kind of takes the spotlight because they're so big. They make features, and of course, Travis is the son of the Nike hair of sorts. I guess you could say. So they're really famous, and they make, of course, very popular films, and very good ones at that. But also on Bixpix, you can see who's in charge. And Kelly Bixler is the owner, founder, and executive producer. And you might be surprised. Oh, it's a woman, and she's been at it for longer than most of us. And she started out in live action, if I understand correct. And of course, there's Drew Hodges. He's the creative executive producer, and Jody Downs is a producer and also handles finance. So these people are the the oil that, or the gasoline, maybe you could say, in the engine of Bixpix. They've got a blog too, so there's actually quite a bit to look at if you guys want to go on there and check out what they've won, what they're up to, and perhaps, now I'm not really sure if they're hiring, but if you guys are out there wanting to get a job, perhaps maybe subscribe to their blog, or visit it often. They've got contact area as well, which they call Hello. So if you're wanting to contact them, go there, and that's a good place to send your demo reels, maybe you're a voice actor or actress and you want to also pitch your voice to them to work in creating their characters. So they've got their address, their phone number. They've got a Facebook, a Twitter, and Instagram. So probably Facebook, I'm gathering, would be where you could find if they're hiring. I think they'd probably announce it here because, of course, they are. Facebook is just a really popular place for people, right? Let's just face it, everybody's on there. So, but they've got photos and everything here as well, which is different than their website. So it's also kind of fun to look around and explore. All right. So, anyways, moving forward. So, let's see now. So our webpage has been updated. I think if you guys recall, there were some issues, and so we updated the entire page. Now you're not going to notice any major differences. Everything is essentially the same in terms of functionality, but a lot of the stuff is all the bugs have been ironed out. Essentially, is what I want to get at there. Also, there's a new option to add polls. So we have on here where you can write your status as always, right? And underneath there is a photo section. And so the thing that's changed here is that you can literally drag and drop photos, or you can click and search them on your computer. You can upload GIF animations now. We've also got the option for videos, which you guys know about, but you can just enter the URL if you want to, and add a comment. And the new options are that you can add files, and you can just drop them right in there, or you can add polls. And so the polls are a new thing. So if you guys want to learn about, learn about what other people think about a topic, let's say, do you like my film or something? And you can add your options, and you can actually add even more than these. You can just click on this add option button, and there's different categories to select from. And there's an expiration date, so you select when you want it to start or end, and then also the expiry time as well. And so that's new. And what else can I say? So I did some checking around on the webpage with my phone, and I found out that a lot of the links on here, for example, let me see, the live video podcast. So that's what you're watching now, right? So I've got this playlist here of videos. There's two things broken on this. One is that it shows show 182 all the time now because I clicked on a button, and I can't undo that. The other thing is that on mobile, this doesn't load. And so I found a solution, and over the rest of the week, what I plan to do is I'm going to be installing this thing called Lab 5 Mobile Videos. So all the mobile videos on our page will work if you're on a tablet, or if you are on a phone, or something, something like a small device. All small devices, basically. So that's what I'm going to work on. The other thing is that we updated the forums. If you recall, there were some things that were broken in the forums, and that was related to our theme. And so I updated the theme, and I kind of tried to change the colors so that the new forum theme would fit in with the rest of the site. But if you want to, for example, reply to somebody, these buttons here were broken before. So this is just for me. I have a moderation option because I'm an admin. But there's a reply to topic here, and it's different than quick reply. So if you guys want to go down to action, reply to topic, you get more options when running a message. You get all these other things like changing your font and color. You have also like a link. If you want to add a link, you click it, and this little pop-up box comes up. Okay, and then you've also got adding videos. And so some people were having problems with posting links, and they wouldn't post correctly. So if you are one of those people, just make sure to click on the action and then reply topic button. And quick reply also works as well, but you don't get those options. It's bare bones. So a few changes coming to the site as you can tell, and I think that's that. So that's kind of our little news update on things going on. And so tonight, what we're going to do is, let me fix all this, get back to work on our Bad Apples project. And so last week we worked on a bunch of different images related to Bad Apples. So if you recall, of course, over the many months we were sculpting all these characters, and we're going to be importing these into Moho. So in order to do that, I need to clean everything up still, and to do that, I'm going to just select what I need here and then get rid of the rest. So let's see here. So this particular character, when I was sculpting him, if you remember, is somewhat of a homage to Gumby, Art Clokey's character. And you can tell that because of his green Gumby hairstyle here. And so all these different body parts here represent... so when I move the arms on this character, I want the shadows to work properly. And so when I animate him, what I'm hoping... I don't know if it's really going to work or not, but as I move his arms up and down, I want to change the layers of this character in Moho. So the way this works is these will all be aligned in layers in Photoshop. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Moho to animate the arms, to move them up and down. So these are just the arms by themselves. But we've got the hands on these. And so when I bend this arm up to a certain point, I'm going to switch to this image here. So essentially what Moho does is it fills in the in-betweens between this arm position here and this arm position here. And according to what I understand, there's the ability to add motion blur and all kinds of stuff with Moho, which is really kind of exciting in that I can make this look like it's a much smoother animation than if I had done it in a traditional way, and I can also save time doing it this way. That's the idea. So this would be more like a film that you would make in a production setting, right? So instead of doing things one frame at a time, which is a great way to do it, of course, but this way does make things faster. And if you're worried about that, oh, his arm got messed up. Let's see if I can go back. Go back, please. Alright, there we go. Let me change the setting here. I'm going to put this on, let's try maybe 50%. Okay, his arm didn't disappear, that's good. So I'm going to try to push this as much as I can. Let me see if I can go with 55%. That's alright. Make sure nothing's cut off. So anyway, this is pretty simple. I mean, it's just a matter of, clearing out the backgrounds. And I am also going to have to, let me try, what happens if I select this again here? I'm going to try, let's see, 55. So I think 60 was too much. No, that's actually pretty good. So what I'm wanting to do is I want to cut into these characters slightly to get rid of that green. So let's do this. I'll try something crazy here, 90. So that works really good for the head, or the heads, but it doesn't work good for the body. I'm not sure I need this body because I've got these. Let me see what the angle of the arms are on these here. This one is low. This one is high. This one might be the same angle. No, it is a different angle. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually extract this body off of here. We're getting cut out of there. Cut. Let's separate those and retry that. Okay. Well, that's alright. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use this for the heads. I'm gonna remake this image just for these other parts, which are getting messed up. But I like the way that if you guys look up close here, you can see that the line comes in, you know, maybe I'm gonna say 8 or so pixels in towards the edge. So any green spill that was on there will not be visible in the final piece. So just going around, making sure everything looks good, and let's clear it. All right. So if I zoom back in, there's really no green. I mean, there's some, but it's very faint. You can kind of see it on the lower edge, but not too much. Alright, so this here has a pixel, straight pixel. Gonna get that to disappear. There's another straight pixel here. Let's kind of hide that. A similar thing here. Make this smaller. If there's any more straight pixels. As you can see, this version of Photoshop does not work so great. Oops. Which one was it now? This one? No. This one. There we go. It does cause some problems. So I'm going to make this smaller. I'm thinking it's because it's this little tool thing here. Do that again. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I'm not worried about the hair or that. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna redo those. But once I clear all this stuff up, the last thing will be to align everything into one Photoshop document for animating in Moho. But I'm not gonna do that right now. There we go. So what has everybody been up to out there? I was going to actually talk a little bit about our 5-week challenges. So we did have a challenge, which was to help make some graphics for the website, and nobody submitted anything. So I am going to work on some more graphics for the web page. But what is there any particular topic you guys would like for our next challenge? Anybody who's watching, any ideas? I guess that's something we can sort of talk about. See if anybody has any interest in that for the next 5 weeks, working on any stop motion. I'm kind of curious, you know, maybe we should advertise that on Facebook a little bit better, or do something to get, you know, more interest in our challenges, because it has been a while since a lot of people have been submitting animations to them. Oh, you're animating a flower in Moho, Ken? That's cool. Is that for a personal project, or maybe somebody wanted you to do that? So Omar is asking, what was the challenge about the graphics? Well, there's some graphics on our webpage. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I can't bring it up. I can't bring it up right now. But it was essentially because there's some header images that are default, and they aren't really related to stop motion. So I thought it would be kind of fun to like make graphics that, you know, fit in with the webpage theme, like the stop motion magic theme, that kind of thing. But maybe I should have. I'm trying to think if there's a way, like on our webpage we have a section for the 5-week challenges, and I'm thinking maybe I should sort of advertise the latest challenge on the front page. That way people can know that there is a challenge. Because if you guys didn't know what it was or know that it was there, maybe that's part of the reason why. So maybe I'll have to do that. Anyways, let me go here to Bad Apples. This is Grumble. Call this Heads. Okay. Do this. So Ken says, I might be able to do some animation. I just finished a test sequence for my film Soil. The flower is for a personal project, a cartoon I'm working on. Cool. That's nice. Are you liking the program, Moho? I mean, it seems like a lot of people are using it. It seems really popular. I'm sort of late in the game when it comes to using it. You know, I had seen it in its early versions, but I never really got into it. Well, Omar, I'm just going to bypass that particular challenge. We're going to work on a new one. It won't really take me too long to make those graphics. And I've got all the original raw files and stuff like that to use for making those, so it won't take me long. But I appreciate your interest in that. Let's see here. So back to this. So Ken says we should probably have a magician mascot, considering the name change. It might be obvious but fitting. That's true. I might keep the little logos and stuff simple for the header images and all that. Let's see here. Clear. Oh, wait a minute. I should have duplicated that first. And Ken says, I used it more as a compositor. However, I'm using it right now for its intended purpose. Cool. And it pretty much is for animation, I believe. I mean, I never thought about using it as a compositor. Does it work pretty good for you? Because I mean, most people go to like Photoshop, and I mean, even Krita has some options with that as well. But I have not, I've not researched compositing in Moho. Clear this. Oops. Okay, that's good. There we go. So Jason says maybe the challenge topic should be 10 seconds in order to encourage more entries from busy people. It's not really a bad idea, actually. So what do you guys think about the topic? I mean, 10 seconds might actually, it might work. People might get involved. Use a polygon, actually. Polygon lasso tool. Clean up this armpit. Still using the delete key. Thanks to Randy, who taught me that. Delete. Speaking of Randy, you just popped in. We're just talking about you. So Randy says, I like the 10 seconds idea, but how about a challenge topic of love in honor of Halloween? Well... clean this hand up a bit here. It's got this green spill going on. So if you guys are wondering how I draw straight lines like this in Photoshop, if you hold down your Shift key, you click once, hold down your Shift key, click twice, it'll create a straight line between the 2 points that you've clicked. A little bit of a tip. So if I wanted to, like, for example, well, if I wanted to like draw a zigzag or something in straight lines, I could do that like that. Just an easy way to do those lines. But let me go back into the history here and okay. So getting rid of the green spill. It's kind of amazing, you know, back in the 1980s, you could not really clean up still images for film as easily as you can with digital. It's kind of a modern marvel if you think about what we can do with these programs. So Ken says, with regards to Moho, he says, it works great as a compositor. For traditional animation, I exclusively use the switch layer. You can make layers blurred, transparent. It really is a nice way to bring all the elements together for me, he says. That's good. So I know Mr. Force has offered to train me a little bit in Moho if I have questions. I'm probably going to go on YouTube a lot, you know, read all the, or not read, but watch all the tutorials there and see what I can learn on my own. And then if I get stumped, you know, it's great that at least you guys know how to use it. I can sort of call on you to help me out a bit. Because I'm a Moho newbie. But I am excited to try it out. And you know, it's something that I think, you know, at least in my situation with the clay on glass type film, will add a little bit of a professional edge to it in some ways. But I'll have to see. Like when I finish, you know, I may not even like the results. Like if the program looks too perfect and the animation loses its charm, you know, that's where I may reconsider, you know. So it's not really set in stone that I'm going to be a fan of Moho after the film is done. But I think if you are a producer and you're making, wanting to go with the clay animation style like this, just the fact that it saves time and everything is, you know, I think it's definitely something to look into. You know, because there is a line between like producing a stop motion commercial and producing your own films. And some people, you know, of course, had the mindset that when you make your own film, that you should, you know, take your time with it, make it the way you want it, and not really worry about how long it takes. And that is definitely, you know, something that most of the people that actually do that do make very high quality, unique films. But I have done this, you know, professionally in the studio with John Lemon Films, and you know, so I've done traditional clay on glass, stop motion, and it is really fun. You know, it's a really fun technique, and not a lot of people actually do it. And I'm hoping that when they see me do this, you know, more people will be like, oh, that's kind of a cool way to animate. But it seems like, you know, a lot of the people on YouTube are making these sort of, what do you call them, like whiteboard animations these days? For things like explainer videos and all that. And so there's a lot of tricks out there on, you know, cutting corners. And so my only fear is, you know, am I cutting too many corners by doing this? the only way to know is to compare traditional with the new techniques. You know, and to do that, you really had to work on the film using the new tools. So, gotta give it a try. And there are some amazing things being made out there, you know, using Adobe Photoshop and Premiere in particular with regards to Dynamation style animation. So a lot of these new tools are just, you know, they had the opportunity to change the way stop motion is perceived. And I mean that in a positive way. Right, so I'm going to take all of this, the body parts, and cut them out of the image here. See if I can do it without breaking the line here. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to cut it and paste. Awesome. So Omar says, reminds me of the software created for testing the face sequences of Jack in Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, Ashley, you're right about that. It's pretty similar. That's the way that Moho works in some respects. Very, very similar. So Randy says, so yeah, I know about Control Z. It's undo, but holding down Control and Alt while hitting Z repeatedly backs you through multiple undos. Oh, I was actually wondering about that because I found it really annoying that I had to go over to the history tab here all the time. Well, thanks for that tip, Randy. Yep, that's a great tip. And I find it unusual, you know, that you can't just keep hitting Control Z. In programs like ZBrush, you know, it's great. You hit Control, you can just keep hitting Control Z like 1,000 times if we have that many undo levels. All right, so we got the body, the heads, we got the body, and we got some other bodies to do as well. Close that. This is done. So we got this one. All right, I'm gonna put your tip to the test, Randy. Let me do this. Make this bigger. 9. Let's go with the eraser and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Control Alt. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah, awesome. It does work. That is something I will not forget. Not quite sure why Alexa is lit up blue. Alright. So 60 tolerance. 60 tolerance is too much. 50. It's not too bad. Alexa. Maybe it's updating a firmware thing or something. It's not turning off. That's really strange. Right, so okay. So this particular image does not work with 50% even. Let's go with 40%. That works. Okay. This one here also. Try that with 40. The top of the arm there was getting cut off. And this one is good. Okay. It's clear. Clear. Eraser. There's anything to clean up here, which there is a little bit. This has got a bunch of green around the edge. I think this is the 40% one. 40% tolerance. Control-Alt-Z, that definitely will help a lot. Let's see. Technically, these guys will be on a green background, you know. So probably this green little line isn't going to really matter. And its head is going to cover most of this here. So it's not really... Clear the guides here. Clear guides. I did that by accident. Not really imperative that I do this, but if for some reason the background is going to be drastically changed halfway through filming for some reason that I haven't foreseen, it's probably just good practice to clean these up anyway. So anyways, so back to our challenges. So I'm thinking, let me write this down actually. Of advertising the challenges on the front page, like what the current challenge is called, what the theme is. So front page challenge topic. And I used to have this timer on there as well that like count, you know, was a countdown timer saying when it ended, but I think that was causing issues with the web page. So when people would try to like log in, they would get errors and everything. And when I deleted that, everything was fixed. So I'm kind of afraid to reincorporate something like that. But I might look around the internet on the Joomla webpage and see if there's any like a countdown sort of extension that I could plop in there. Okay, this is good. So we're going to go with body 2. Back to the eraser. Oops. So we'll try to get, you know, oh, looks like that ate away the arm there. Let's go to Control-Alt-Z again. So my 40% tolerance was not, that was still too high. Let's go with 30%. There we go. I thought I resolved that before. Let me see something. Actually, 40% works. I wonder what happened. Now let's clear that. Yeah, okay. Let's clean this hand up a bit. Luckily the shirt is green, so that doesn't really have to be fixed too much. So I did notice, whoops, what's going on here? Let's go back. Zykeira has posted some more animations. So she's always, she was, I guess, busy in college for a while. And she created this, this animation that used, and you can still see it on the front page, it's at the top there, that used, she said, rice and I think like a lacquer or varnish on the rice to create miniature teeth for her puppets. And it looked really cool. Like I would never have considered using rice for teeth. But if If you guys are interested, check it out on our network page. You know, scroll down a bit, and I thought that was really clever. Have you guys ever used rice for teeth before? For monsters? I remember, you know, for me, a lot of times I would always use like Sculpey and stuff for teeth. That's what I was taught. I think it was Webster Colcord or Mike McKinney who taught me, you know, use hard stuff for teeth, so that when you animate the mouths on your clay puppets, you can't really destroy the teeth that way if they're hard. And I just think it's like really clever. And I've got one friend from way back when I was in high school, and he actually made stop motion puppets. One of my friends, Aaron, and he used different techniques to create his puppets, particularly like the build-up style. He was like into the old Harryhausen style kind of monsters, but he added this sort of like heavy metal twist to all of his characters, so they'd all have like axes and chains and all kinds of crazy horns and stuff. But I've never seen food items used for that before, you know, so but when you see it, you're like, you can't figure out what it is. You couldn't tell it was rice. All you can tell is it looked really good. Alright, so this is gonna be body 3. So we're pretty productive tonight here, I think. Oh, let me get rid of. There is a blob here. Okay. Randy says, I've used the tips of toothpicks for teeth. Didn't even paint them. The yellowish color worked. Awesome. So toothpicks. That would work, I guess, yeah. Kind of the right color, pointy and sharp. Definitely menacing if you want that menacing, sharp, toothy look, right? So Zykeira's film was, it was sort of like a nature show from a different world where the host follows these little creatures into their burrows in the ground and, you know, shows their eating habits, stuff like that. And now, if you guys do find it on the page, make sure that the closed captioning is turned on. I noticed that it was on for me, I think by default, but you gotta read the words to understand it. If English is your only language, of course. Some of you might get it. So what are some of the weirdest things you guys have animated out there anyway? So we got toothpicks, we've got rice. What else? I know Will Vinton Productions, they used to animate food for some of their commercials. Like vegetables and things. And of course then there's, let's see, like the brothers Quay and Starovich. Some of them have animated things like raw meat. I think that's probably one of the crazier things that has been animated in stop motion. And then there's guys like Lee Hardcastle, but he uses mostly clay, and you know, his animations are weird, but I don't think that what he's animating by hand is weird. You know, like there's no you know, kitchen utensils or things like that. I don't know. Things that you would never suspect to be used in the film. Let's see, and I think, what is this? This here is actually a little stray pixel from the camera. There's actually no red dot there, I think, because it's not on that one. There we go. Let's clean up this little part. This one will be done. Okay, save as body 4. And that one's done. So Randy says, I once animated a pink walking bone. It was a funny bone. It's like a pun. And shaped like the classic cartoon dog bone, made of pink clay. It had a face, but didn't speak. Just gestured at stuff off camera. That's funny. That's a good kind of funny, right? That would make me laugh. So I mean, Gentleman Films, we had the no-brainer afternoons, you know. So we had this one kid that he would sit down at in front of a TV to watch Cartoon Network, and he pulled his brain out of his head, and his brain flew around and got excited and watched Cartoon Network. You know, that's probably what the weirder thing that I've animated. Trying to think. Oops. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of strange stuff locked away in closets that, you know, people like Phil Tippett, maybe Dennis Muren, you know, these guys that were working on film in the old days. Maybe Willis O'Brien. They must have like a forbidden reel, like, you know, stuff they experimented with that is just so crazy and unusual that they never showed people. Oh, gotta get that armpit here. Get my polygon tool. Clean this up. There we go. Somebody says it was some guy's logo. I didn't think he was a motivational speaker. Don't know if he was any good. But yeah, he liked animation, so there's that. That's cool. So do you have that on your YouTube page, Randy? Or is that just something that, I guess if it's copyrighted or something, maybe they wouldn't let you sort of show that. Unfortunately, Gentleman Films is going out of business, but they've got some of my animation that they've never released. I did like 9 different shots for their no-brainer Cartoon Network afternoons, and they only released to me like, I think, 2 shots. So a lot of my work I can't show. Being that they're going out of business, I should probably see if I can get my animation. They were pretty protective about their stuff. Alright, so save as body 5. Alright, so that's our character. So technically Grumble is completed. So I'm gonna minimize this. So that is one more character done, or at least one character. Let's see, what can we do that's fast? So we've got some arms and got some clouds. Alright, well here's what I think we're going to do. Why don't we, since we don't really have a lot of time left, and we do have to work on our upcoming 5-week challenges, why don't we, let me do something real quick here. Let's do this. Let me bring up our website. The reason I can't show you guys is because I have a lot of my passwords. I don't want to show my passwords on the screen when I open my stuff, so let's get rid of this. Okay. So I do have down here our 5-week challenge highlight on our site, right? So I am going to probably change this and have like, on the bottom of this, I'll probably put the latest topic right here. And I'm going to try to see if I can move this box higher on the page as well. I might be able to get it to go in this part so people can see it more easily. I'll move the store down because that's not as important. And so the topic. So what do you guys think? Maybe we can do a topic. So Halloween is coming up. I know the Halloween challenges are always popular. Do you guys want to do another Halloween challenge, or should we try to make that a little bit more specific? I'm thinking we should try to narrow it down to not just such a broad topic. So Randy says that footage was shot in 1984, so I have it, but it's a SVHS videotape, the master, and I haven't ever digitized a lot of that old stuff. Oh. Yep. That's probably not so easy to digitize these days, unfortunately. And Ken says, so far I'm not too fond of animating on the computer. I feel like I'm fighting the machine too much. I think I'm getting better. That's something that I'm afraid of too. Like maybe the process is not as fun, like you're saying. But I will find out. It's a big experiment. So actually, you guys can see here's Zach Kira's video here, the video section that I was talking about. Maybe I can pause it on a frame of the teeth. So there they are. And you can see about the closed captioning. Just make sure that's clicked, so you guys can understand. So Randy says some people complained about yet another Halloween topic. I remember that. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking we should change that up. And he says, how about Thanksgiving? Yeah. Well, what's today? Today's date is October 3rd, so 5 weeks. Yeah, we could do that. Thanksgiving would be a good one. So the option for turkeys and stuffing and family dinners, family gatherings with your favorite uncles and aunts. I mean, I can kind of envision a lot of comedy situations here, but yeah, what do you guys think? Is Thanksgiving something you might be interested in? So I'm thinking Thanksgiving would be pretty good. We could just go broad like that. Maybe because I'm trying to think if we've done a Thanksgiving one before. So we had Halloween, then we had Feather. So November was Feather, and then Halloween was last year's. So let's go back in time. Then we had the previous one was Fairy Tale for October, and Forgiveness for November. So I guess Thanksgiving would be a pretty good one. Even further back in time, November would have been for 2015 Space, and so September to November was Under the Sea for 2015. So I guess we haven't really done one like that, have we? That's kind of a funny one. So we had one Gluttony or Overindulgence for 1 September. I think that was not very popular. Only had 2 replies. So, okay. Yeah, let's do Thanksgiving, huh? Oh, that's right. It's a different time period in Canada. I forgot about that. So Weeby says Thanksgiving sounds like a good topic. And Randy says I have an old SVHS, SHVHS, SVHS, right? SVHS, yeah. Thanksgiving piece greeting card from the early 90s. Maybe I'll have to try and dig those out. And Jason says I'll have some turkey. All right. Well, that's cool. All right. So Thanksgiving it will be. So I write it down. 5-week challenge. Good idea, guys. Good idea. So, Thanksgiving, and I'll make some changes to the site as usual. Try to improve things. And I guess that wraps up our show for tonight. Thanks everybody who stopped in just to chat for a bit for the hour. If you guys do find any problems with the webpage, since I am going through and updating everything, just if you can contact me, here's our contact page at the top. Just click it and click on the email, mark@stopmotionmagic.com, and that's how you can find me. All right. I guess I'll see you guys next week. See you all later.